Hi, this is Denise with PaperKraftD, and I wanted to share with you today something that I made, was working on in the month of October for my brother-in-law's celebration of life. He passed away fairly unexpectedly in the middle of the summer, like in July. And we had his celebration of life in October, on October 22nd. And my mother-in-law asked me to make a book. You know, she said, "Can you make one of your beautiful journals for, for Matthew?" And I offered to make also kind of a bit of a journal, a bit of a memory book, and a bit of a like a sign-in book for his celebration of life. And so this is something that I had put together. It was I with a lot of consultation with them, with my husband and my mother-in-law, and what they wanted and what they were looking for. And in the end, I ended up repurposing. This was an old binder for really old vinyl records, and it really is a great size, just very nice. It's fits like 8.5. It's like a little more than 11 inches this way, and it fits in 8.5 this way. So it's a really nice size. You can see, here kind of size-wise, this is just a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And I created this cut file and did it on gold in gold vinyl, and applied it to the front for a life remembered. And I thought that was really cool. I open it up, and this is a much younger picture of my brother-in-law, when he was a young man. But I made these inserts for here, and I didn't want to ruin the cover of this, so I just simply put it in like photo corners, because this has kind of a cool like index thing here, which I thought was really cool. And then the spine of this was kind of coming apart a little bit. It just seemed really fragile to me, so I reinforced it with some fabric washi tape. So, and I like the way that looks. I think this was an old Seven Gypsies, really old one. But then I made these sign-in sheets for family and friends, and this is actually the first time I'm looking at this since the celebration of life. So, and I reinforced all the pages with these little craft page reinforcers. And this, I used some really thick cardstock on here. And I like this because he was a son. He was a son. He was a brother. And this is my husband, and my brother-in-law. This is my brother-in-law who passed. He was an uncle. These are my daughters. And this is when my nephew was born. That's my son. And he was beloved by all of us. This is one of the Easter photos with our very close friends and family. And he was an athlete. And I haven't signed this yet, so I'm going to have to sign this. And even though some of these are kind of open, we can collage over this and make different stuff, you know, add stuff to this album. So even if it's not, you know, a couple of these pages aren't used, we can still do that. And this is going to be kind of a work in progress, you know, as a family, as it hasn't been quite a month yet. So as we're kind of processing everything, this will be a nice way to kind of, you know, get together and remember him and whatnot. And he was a mountaineer. He loved to, you know, I love to hike. That's with my father-in-law and my husband and his brothers. He loved Calvin and Hobbes, so I included, this was actually one of his books. It was falling apart, so I took the back cover off of it and just included it in here. I thought it was really cool. And this will be a good place for us to like add some stories or photos or whatever we want. There's some little sheet protectors with small photo slots in there. I put a map in here. Oh, here's one of the sleeves for the record players that were in this album. I thought this was kind of a fun thing. We can, you know, add some, you know, papers in there if we want. And I really like the way Calvin and Hobbes kind of peekaboo through there when it's empty. I made this little envelope to get in there, and then we can add, you know, some stuff. And, you know, he was a bit of a character, so that's why I picked this page. This is also from his Calvin and Hobbes book. And this is a piece of sheet music with Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. And again, we can come in and, you know, add journaling and stories and whatever we want, you know, as time goes on. And I love this. This is, I think he was, he inspired me to pick this piece of sheet music because then the back says Adios Muchachos, and that would have been his sense of humor totally. So I thought that was really funny. This is just a really pretty piece of tissue paper that I added to this New York Times sheet. And this is from the week that he was born. This one's in June 6th, but he was born on June 3rd. There's another little pocket for photos. You can see this actually had holes in different places, but I just added some washi and then I re-punched the holes and it works just fine. I covered up the text side of this Calvin and Hobbes page with some, what's the word I'm looking for? With some rice paper. So it can, you know, just has a nice texture, and we can write over the top of it if we want. And then this is one of the pages in his from his Calvin and Hobbes, and I thought that was just so precious, you know. So yeah, I mean, we've got more work to do in here. I love the way this turned out. It was, you know, it was a nice format for using. Next to the book, I had added this little box that I had painted. This is just from the Dollar Tree, and I actually had gotten this box for Kara's Halloween kit, and then it ended up being the perfect size for this, so for her Halloween tag, so I ended up using it for this. But, you know, I just added, you know, some little things that people could use to write little notes and stuff if they wanted to. I had this, and somebody actually filled that out, so I'll include that. It's just some little, you know, these were cards that, you know, that I had. He really liked these, this game that he played with my son. So I had made these little tags. So this will be these can be little journaling spots that we include. This is Magic the Gathering. So he really liked the artwork on that. So that's, I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to include for journaling. He liked Star Wars. So this is like a little journaling spot there. Oh, he had this Far Side book, and so I took some of the pages from his Far Side book and made a little journaling spot here. And we can just, I've made a couple of those, and we can, add journaling to it if we want, or not, whatever. Had a couple of tags here that I made. He had majored in computer science in college, so I thought this was really a fun one because it had like an old, time card, computer card. So I thought that was a fun little journaling spot. And then there's just some other journaling spots that I made. Yeah. I like this one. This one was really, really cool. And these would be great for like longer stories if we want to include them. And he was a biker, so not a motorcycle biker. Like he rode bicycles. he was really a good biker, actually. Oh, this is a picture of my husband and my brother-in-law at our wedding, so I'll have to include that. Here's a card from somebody, so we'll have to include these. And these are all, cards that we'll have to include in here. And my mother-in-law has some more cards. So we may use some of these, we may not use them, whatever. I just made them, and we have them if we want them. We don't have to use them if we don't want to. There we go. Okay. So this could be a cool place for this one. That photo can go in there. So there, I found a few more cards that were filled out. I'm just going to include them back here. Okay, so let's see. I think it would be helpful to put them like this. Okay. Perfect. This I can put right here. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll work out well. We had these little cards made for the service. So I want to make sure I put one of those in here. It says "Forever in Our Hearts." And this is just a quote from John Muir. It says, "Oh, these vast, calm, measureless mountain days, inciting at once to work and rest, days in whose light everything seems equally divine, opening 1,000 windows to show us God. Nevermore, however weary, should one faint by the way, who gains the blessing of one mountain day. Whatever his fate, long life, short life, stormy or calm, he is rich forever. My First Summer in the Sierra," by John Muir. So, yeah, I mean, it was a very emotional day. This has been an emotional year for us. This is how I thought Matthew would want to be remembered. He was mentally ill, and very severely mentally ill, and he spent a lot of time with our family. And I think, he got a lot of enrichment from that. spending time with my kids and with all of us. Spent many, many weekends, many vacations, many road trips with Matthew. And you know, it's hard. It's hard to let go. Yeah, my kids grew up with Uncle Matthew, and they were very close. And my husband was very close as well to his brother. So yeah, so this was what we did for his memorial. It was a really nice service. I think I'll include some pictures in the montage after this, so you can see what we did and how we had things laid out. We made really, really beautiful poster boards, and it was a beautiful memorial and a tribute to Matthew, and how much we cared and loved him, and how much we'll miss him. So, you know, I just thought I'd share that with you. These are things that, you know, as we go through life, we go through, and we, you know, it's a part of life. I'm going to go ahead and put this cut file for A Life Remembered. I'm going to put that on my Ko-fi site as a freebie, so you can check that out and find that cut file there. I used mine in the silhouette, so it should be an SVG form. When I get it up, by the time this is posted, it should be up there. And I think I'll also go ahead and include the basic forms that I used for these, so you can print them out if you know, have these. Could be used, you know, this obviously is for you know, a celebration of life type thing, and you know, I'll leave this blank. It'll just be a frame, and it'd be in loving memory, and then you can add your own, you know, name in there, obviously, and your own dates. But I will include these friends and family, and this can be used, you know, for celebration of life, or it can also be used for weddings or other kinds of, you know, renewal of vows type thing. So, you know, it's you know, it could be useful to some people, to a broader group of people than just people, you know, doing a celebration of life. So anyway, I hope you can use these printables, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and just seeing kind of what I put together. It might give you some ideas. You know, if you're in a similar situation, you're trying to put something together that's respectful, but also kind of reflects the personality of the person that has passed. So anyway, if you did enjoy this, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the description box below. Let me know, you know, if you think something like this might be useful to you. If it is, you know, go and check out my Ko-fi site and get these freebies. And thank you so much for joining me today. Again, this is Denise with PaperKraftD, and craft on.